धीमहि यो यो नमः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नमः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ नमो भगवते रामकृष्णाय। 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 ॐ नमो भगवती शारदा देवीये। 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 ॐ नमो भगवते रामकृष्णाय। 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 ॐ नमो भगवती शारदा देवीये। 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 ॐ नमो भगवते रामकृष्णाय। ॐ नमो भगवती शारदा देवीये। ॐ श्री राम कृष्ण भगवान की जय। अलकनिरंजन भवा भजन भजो नारायण नारायण नारायण। 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 सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण 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 ॐ गुरुदेवा सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण 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 ॐ गुरुदेवा सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण 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 हरि नारायण हरि ओम 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 नारायण 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 अलकनिरंजन भवा भजन भजो 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 नारायण 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 ॐ गुरुदेवा सद्गुरुदेवा 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 नारायण 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 हरि नारायण हरि ओम 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 नारायण 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 अलकनिरंजन भवा भजन भजो नारायण 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 ॐ श्री राम कृष्ण भगवान की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय श्री अम्बे अम्बे मात की जय श्री कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की जय। मेरे मन में बसे है राम, मेरे तन में बसे है राम। चीर की छाती बोले अपनी पवन पुत्र हनुमान,
चीर की छाती बोले अपने पवन पुत्र हनुमान।
चीर की छाती बोले अपनी पवन पुत्र हनुमान।
चीर की छाती बोले अपने पवन पुत्र हनुमान।
मेरे मन में बसे है राम, मेरे तन में बसे है राम।
मेरे मन में बसे है राम, मेरे तन में बसे है राम।
सीता हरण किया रावण
प्रभु जी थे अकुलाए।
हनुमान ने सीता जी को प्रभु संदेश सुनाए।
हनुमान ने सीता जी को प्रभु संदेश सुनाए।
हनुमान जी करते आए प्रभु जी के गुणगान। मेरे मन में बसे है राम, मेरे तन में बसे है राम।
मेरे मन में बसे है राम, मेरे तन में बसे है राम।
लगी लक्ष्मण जी को शक्ति देख प्रभु घबराए।
लगी लक्ष्मण जी को शक्ति देख प्रभु घबराए।
भोर से पहले हनुमान जी दौला गिर ले आए।
भोर से पहले हनुमान जी दौला गिर ले आए।
उठ बैठे लक्ष्मण जी लेकर श्री राम का नाम। मेरे मन में बसे है राम, मेरे तन में बसे है राम।
मेरे मन में बसे है राम, मेरे तन में बसे है राम।
वानर सेना देख के रावण की सेना घबराए।
वानर सेना देख के रावण की सेना घबराए।
पलक झपक में हनुमत ने लंका में आग लगाए।
पलक झपक में हनुमत ने लंका में आग लगाए।
भोले प्रभु के साथ मिटा कर रावण का अभिमान। मेरे मन में बसे है राम, मेरे तन में बसे है राम।
मेरे मन में बसे है राम, मेरे तन में बसे है राम।
चीर की छाती बोले अपनी पवन पुत्र हनुमान।
चीर के छाती बोले अपने पवन पुत्र हनुमान।
मेरे मन में बसे है राम, मेरे तन में बसे है राम।
मेरे मन में बसे है राम, मेरे तन में बसे है राम।
मेरे मन में बसे है राम, मेरे तन में बसे है राम। ओम श्री राम कृष्ण भगवान की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। श्री अम्बे अम्बे मात की जय। श्री सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। हो जगना पालनहार। हो जगना पालनहार। મને તારો એક સહારો છે। ओ जगना पालनहार। મને તારો એક સહારો છે।
તને પાડી રહ્યો પુકાર, હોવાલા તન પાડી રહ્યો પુકાર। મને તારો એક સહારો છે। ઓ જગના પાલનહાર।
Sarvadeva Devi Swarupaya Shri Ramakrishnaya Namaha. Respected Prarajika SPranam Mataji and loving devotees of God, Om Namo Narayanaya. Swami Turiyananda was one of the 16 monastic disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. He was known as Harinath Chatropadhyaya, and from a young age he felt intense renunciation and avoided worldly life. He practiced japa and meditation regularly, slept on the floor, and ate simple vegetarian food. He practiced self-discipline strictly and told his friends that he would never marry. Hari met Sri Ramakrishna for the first time in Bagh Bazaar, Kolkata. He was then 13 or 14 years old. He watched the master in ecstasy. Hari's first impression of the God-intoxicated saint was, and I quote, "The master appeared very thin. He was in a semi-conscious state. When he got down from the carriage, it was a wonderful sight to behold. There was an incredible radiance over his face. And I thought, I have heard from the scriptures about the great sage Shukadev. Is he the same Shukadev?" After 2 or 3 years, Hari went to Dakshineshwar to visit the master. Sri Ramakrishna said, "I want to see you more often, for I know you are dear to the Lord. Don't forget to come here, because here you will get everything that is needed for your spiritual life." Harinath felt an intense longing for liberation. One night, sitting on the bank of the Ganges, he cried and yearned to see God. Sri Ramakrishna consoled him and said, "The Lord is greatly pleased if one cries and prays to him. The tears of love wash away all mental impurities accumulated through ages. It is very good to cry for God." One day, Hari asked the master how one could become completely free from lust. Master replied, "Why should you get rid of it, my boy? Give it a new turn. What is lust? It is the desire to get. So desire to get God and strengthen this desire greatly. The more you go towards the east, the farther away you will be from the west. The more you increase your love for God, the more lust, anger, and jealousy will decrease." The master's teachings were simple and very effective. When Hari said to Sri Ramakrishna that he could not bear to look at women, the master replied, "You talk like a fool. Looking down upon women? Why, they are the manifestation of the Divine Mother. Bow down to them with respect. That is the only way to be free and not be trapped." These words permanently changed Hari's attitude towards women. By his association with the master, Hari realized that mere studying and discussion is not as effective as directly experiencing the truth that God alone is real and the world unreal. To live with Sri Ramakrishna was a great education, for he trained his disciples on how to attain perfection in samadhi as well as in service. Swami Turiyananda used to recall the days spent with the master. He said, "Those days at Dakshineshwar were like heaven itself. From the morning until 1 o'clock, everyone would be busy picking flowers and making other preparations for worship until the poor were fed. Sri Ramakrishna would discuss spiritual subjects and devotees would listen to him with rapt attention. Even his fun and jokes were related to God. There was no other topic. In the evening, the master would go to the temple of Madakali and fan her. He would become God intoxicated and return to his room reeling in ecstasy. Once, some devotees had a picnic under the Panchavati grove. The master had asked Hari to go there and see if anything was left behind. Hari found an umbrella, a knife, and some other articles and took them to the master. The knife had belonged to Sri Ramakrishna, and as Hari was putting it back into the shelf, the master asked him, "Where are you putting it? Put it where it belongs. You must put everything in its proper place." Suppose I need the knife during the night. I will have to go around looking for it in the dark. This is not service. In order to serve properly, you must do each thing perfectly. An hour of congregational singing in the company of the Master would fill us with such exuberant joy that we would feel transported, as it were, into an ethereal region. That bliss would stay with us continuously for a week. We learned from the Master that whatever evil tendencies one may have, one is sure to improve in holy company. When we go to the perfume shop, the scent enters our nostrils whether we will it or not. Similarly, if we keep holy company, we will learn to love God. One day, I saw the Master waving the fan before Mother Kali in the temple. He was singing, "Awake, O Mother! Long have you been sleeping in your primal abode, in the lotus of the Muladhara. Wake up, O Mother, and wipe out my sorrow, O thou who art pure consciousness." The Master once told Swamiji, Swami Vivekananda, "Whenever you start singing, the Divine Mother wakes up and listens to your song." After the Master's passing away, the disciples moved to Barangor and found the Ramakrishna monastery. They took monastic vows in 1887 under the leadership of Swami Vivekananda. Harinath was given the name Swami Turiyananda. This means being blissful in the consciousness of God alone. In June 1899, Swami Turiyananda left for England and America with Swami Vivekananda and Sister Nivedita. He asked Sister Nivedita to teach him the Western customs. She explained with an illustration. Picking up a knife, she held the sharp edge in her hand and gave the handle to Swamiji, saying, "Swamiji, whenever you give something to someone, always take the inconvenient and unpleasant side yourself and give the convenient and pleasant side to the other." This was an important lesson in life that he learned. Swami Turiyananda's students from the New York Vedanta Society accepted him with love because of his simple meditative nature. Their admiration for the young Swamiji is clearly expressed in the words of a student. Swami Turiyananda speaks with fire and enthusiasm and loses himself entirely in his subject, forgetting everything else for the being. He is an illumined monk, full of purity and renunciation. He has a constant source of inspiration to the students. In 1900, Swami Turiyananda left for San Francisco, where he delivered lectures and conducted meditation classes. Swamiji founded a new retreat center named Shanti Ashrama. It is the abode of peace, and everyone worked hard to create a spiritual atmosphere. This ashrama is in existence even today. In 1902, when Swami Turiyananda returned to Kolkata, he learned that Swami Vivekananda had passed away. This came as a terrible shock to him, and he decided not to return to the West, but would rather spend the remaining part of his life in meditation and austerity. He stayed at Belur Math for about 3 months, and if someone praised him for the work he had done in the West, he would simply reply, "The Master does his own work, and we are just his instruments." Swami Turiyananda was a spiritual dynamo and was always ready to speak about God and spiritual life. He often quoted this great saying of sage Vedvyasa, "He who wishes to think about the Lord after all his duties have been finished is like the fool who wishes to bathe in the sea after the waves have subsided. This will never happen, for the waves will never stop." A knower of God transcends body consciousness and is immersed in the Atman. It is clear that physical pain and mental affliction did not affect Swami Turiyananda, who underwent many surgeries without the use of local anesthetic. He was so strong that he would simply withdraw his mind from the body like a yogi and felt no pain. After the operation, he stayed at Holy Mother's home in Kolkata. Before leaving, he bowed to Holy Mother and said, Mother, with your blessings I have regained my health. Except for your grace, I would have left this world. Swami Turiyananda then left for Varanasi and lived there until the end of his life, inspiring many monks and devotees. One day he quoted a verse from the Gita, "Let a man be uplifted by his own self. Let him not lower himself, for he himself is his friend. He himself is his enemy." Then he commented, "Who is your best friend? No one but the self, that is, the Atman. There's no savior in this world except the Atman. We must take refuge in him alone." Swami Turiyananda passed away on 21st July 1922. The night before his Mahasamadhi, he said to his attendants, "Tomorrow is the last day." He chanted, "Om Ramakrishna, Om Ramakrishna," and asked an attendant to help him sit up. He saluted the master with folded hands and then drank some Ganga water. He summed up his life experience. Everything is real. Brahman is real. This world is real. The world is Brahman. The life force is established in truth. Jai Shri Ramakrishna. He is the embodiment of truth and knowledge. Swami Turiyananda justified his name, which means transcendental bliss. He had tasted the bliss of Brahman and shared it with everyone. Like a true sage, he silently transformed many lives in the East and the West. He was indeed an awakener of souls. He boldly declared, "I will conquer, now or never. Make that your motto. Even in this life I must see God. That is the only way, never postponed." Hari Om Tat Sat.
Om Gurave Namah. Om Gam Ganeshaya Namah. Om Shri Saraswati Namah. Yatagni Dayika Shakti Ramakrishna Stita Hiya Sarva Vidya Swarupam Tam Sharadam Pranamamyaham. Sharadam Pranamamyaham. Doha Jai Jai Matu Saraswati Buddhi Vidya Ki Kali Harsavahini Ambike Jai Jai Veena Pali Harsavahini Ambike Jai Jai Veena Pali Chaupai Jai Shri Sarvati Balarasi Jai Sarvagya Jai Avinashi Jai 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 Veena Karatharini Hansavahini Jai Mridhuhasini Dhruv Chatur Bhuj Tumharo Mata Dini Lokma Tum Vikyata Hastaswati Kamal Vararaje Amal Kamal Para Amba Viraje Emri Shrim Krim Bija Swarupe Pushtakadharini Amal Anupe Valmiki Raha Atyachari Tumharo Kripa Pare Kavi Bhari ज्योति सूर्य समतन ज्योति पावन, राजहंस तुमरो शशि वाहन, काल कुंडल लोल सुहावरी, उर्मिमाल अनूप दिखावरी, वीण पुस्तक भरधारिणी, जगन्मातु तुम जग विहारिणी, ब्रह्मसुता अखंड अनूपा, तुम्हारे गुण गावत सुर भूपा। हरिहर करहि तुम्हारो वंदन, वरण कुबेर करहि अभिनंदन, मधुकर तब की मति हर लीनी, परम पद करि तुम गति दीनी, तुम्हारी रूप पार्वती धार्यो, दुर्गा रूप असुर संहार्यो, काली रूप अनूप बनावा, रक्त बीज का धरनी गिरावा। आदि शक्ति तुम प्रकट भवानी, सचराचर स्वामिनी कल्याणी, तुम्हारो नाम जपै जो कोई, विद्या विधि पावे जन सोई, तुम साहित्य सरोवर वासिनी, ललित कला संगीत प्रकाशिनी, चारु कल्पना शीला माया, करो सदा सेवक परदाया। सरस्वती पूजन जो करहि, निश्चय देव सागर तरहि, विद्या बुद्धि मिलहि सुखदानी, जय 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 शारदा भवानी, तुम्हारी कृपा मिटै सब पीरा, सेवक होई तुम्हारे धीरा, तुम जली ब्रह्मांड निवासिनी, सकल तम गुण की प्रकाशिनी। जगदम्बा तुम अगज भरणी, बुद्धि विधात्री सुमंगल करणी, दुख दरिद्र सब जाहि न साई, तुम्हारी कृपा न कछु कहि जाई, संकारिक यम गुण गण गावहि, नारद मुनि तव सुयश सुनावहि, जापर कृपा तुम्हारी होई, तापर कृपा करहि सब कोई। शुभ्र वसन कर राजत कंगन, कचि किंकिनी मधुर नूपुर ध्वन, आदि शक्ति तुम परम सयानी, महिमा वेद पुराण बखानी, जग मंगल करती दुख हरती, सृष्टि स्वरूपा पालन करती, तुम माया तुम प्रकृति सनातन, आदि सृष्टि तुम अतिशय पावन। देव तनुज आरती उतारहि, जय 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 मातु उचारहि, तुम्हारी कृपा मिलै सुचि ज्ञाना, होई सकल विधि अति कल्याणा, मैं सेवक तुम्हारी हो माता, सुयश तुम्हार भुवन विख्याता, सब अपराध क्षमा कर दीजिए, मातु शरण मोको तुम लीजिए। जो जन सेवा करहि तुम्हारी, तिनका कछहु नहीं दुख भारी, जो यह पाठ करे चालीसा, तापर कृपा करहि जगदीशा, तापर कृपा करहि जगदीशा।
Om Namo Narayanaya, dear sisters and brothers. Let us sit quietly and try to calm the restless mind. Shri Sarada Devi says, as the wind removes the cloud, so the name of God removes the cloud of worldliness, that is, of ignorance. May your body and mind become pure by repeating the name of God. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
ॐ सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ॐ तत्सत् जय श्री गुरु महाराज की जय महामाय की जय स्वामी जी महाराज की जय गंगा मात की जय महावीर स्वामी जी की जय सर्व ऋषि मुनियों की जय पार्वती पतये हर हर महा